It's the main season for snail farming, hence we'll have a lot of farmers starting out. So if you're a new or beginner farmer, you're in the right place. And I'll be sharing very insightful information that will help you figure out your snail farming game. To start with, what you're watching is a farmer transferring her eggs from the takeaway packs, which is another system for incubating, to the unique pen method, which is a different system of hatching your eggs. So usually at AgroCycle, we encourage farmers to leverage 3 different methods. The first one is the takeaway pack method, the second one is the unique pen method, and the last one is the free range method. And all of them put together are the ways through which you could hatch your eggs. The takeaway packs usually have about 60 to 50% hatch rate. The unique pen method increases it to like 70-80, but the free range method averagely 95% hatch rate. But it depends on what you can do. Just figure it out, know what is perfect for your environment, and go ahead and do it. Now what she's doing is burying the eggs. First of all, you don't have to make a very deep hole. That's where people make a lot of mistake. They just put their fingers into the soil and just put it in perspective. Do you think the snails that will be coming out from these tiny eggs will have the muscle to bore through the soil and come out? Really? No, they don't. So what happens is that most farmers, their snails are really hatching, are growing and developing properly, but you discover that most of them are just locked up in the shells. They can't come out, they can't do anything, they are just stuck there. This is a challenge that most farmers face, and you hear complaints like, "Oh, Mr. Rex, I cannot hatch my eggs. Oh, Mr. Rex, this is happening. Oh, Mr. Rex, that is happening. Oh, Mr. Rex, I've been incubating my eggs for over 20 days and nothing has happened." And these are certain challenges that you face. Now the next one would be, after you've covered your pen like this, you need to wet the soil, and clearly you have to have the right texture of soil. Now take note, did you notice that the soil is not too wet, it is not too dry, it is just the right proportion. Now what's the way to even know, okay, I have the right type of soil? This is the text I would actually ask individuals in the community of practicing farmers to do. Now, in case you don't know what the community of practicing farmers is, it is AgroCycle ecosystem of practicing farmers. So people who have gone through the training, they join the community of practicing farmers and they start practicing. Being part of that community gives you access to the state rep. Now the state rep is the person who is in charge of your state. So agro farmers, we've had farmers who have done exceptionally well for themselves, so we'll put them in charge of the state, making it easy for other farmers to access them. And this is another farmer just doing the normal stuff. It's just, I feel a little bit challenged when I saw this video, and I had to make this remark. Yes, her snails are laying, the environment is conducive for them, hence the reason why they are laying. You can see even some of the snails tried to bury the eggs inside the soil. What does this tell you? It tells you that the soil is packed. Okay, it's packed together, and you can see the reason why it's packed is probably she's stepping on it. She can enter the pen anyhow and just do her thing, and we encourage her, no, don't do that again. You should not be stepping into your pen. Okay, think about it. What if the eggs were buried where she was stepping on? I think she didn't think about that, but what if that's an option? What if something was there, and guess what, she will probably step on it and that egg would never come out. It will stay there, even eventually crack. So as beginner farmers, just try to build your pen in such a way that it is very convenient for you to clean your pen, take care of your snails, take out the eggs without necessarily entering your pen. And did you notice that the plantain leaves are very, very moist? Now she's doing something wrong, which is not characteristics of farmers that go through AgroCycle, and that's one of the things we corrected her on when we saw this. We told her, see, you're supposed to suspend all those leaves on a stick. So probably put a wood, put your board, then suspend them on top. You're not supposed to be having the heaps of plantain leaves or the entire weight directly on the snails. No, it makes it very difficult for them. They can't move, they can't do anything. Now imagine those snails, if she turns off the leaves, now you notice that some snails were there and they were heaped on. It's not ideal. But then, if not for anything, one thing she's doing right is that the moisture content in the leaves is superb. Hence the reason the snails are popping out eggs. Now a lot of persons will ask me, oh Mr. Rex, what's the right types of leaf to use? And it's a funny question to ask. Is it dry or fresh leaves? Which one is better? I'll tell you, see, both of them serve different purposes. Dry leaves have the ability to absorb water. So we advise our students, once you get dry leaves, soak them in water for a certain period of time, then eventually put them on top of the sticks before you put the fresh leaves. Now, did you notice what I was complaining about? See how deep that is being buried. No, it's not sustainable. No, you see how deep? How do you expect the eggs to come out? So we have to call out the farmer immediately. And that's one thing with AgroCycle. You might just be wondering, how do we get all these videos? It is by engaging our farmers actively. We want the farmers to do the right thing. In the AgroCycle community of practicing farmers, you have the opportunity to get replacement for your snails if you lose more than 20% within the first 2 weeks. We'll believe that is not your fault, or maybe the snails were poorly handled in transportation, which is clearly not your fault, and we come in to support you in that scenario. And this is the same woman who was stepping in her pen. Remember what we said. The first thing is make sure that look at how deep that is. It's too deep. And guess what? When she buries it, the snails will have difficulties coming out. Now she was using the takeaway packs to gather the eggs and transferring it to this place. So take note of this. It is very, very, very important. I know this we're supposed to talk about the beginner class. Maybe this video is centered around eggs. Understand that as a beginner, and especially in this rainy season, the most thing that you will be seeing is eggs. That's literally most of the biggest things you'll be seeing is eggs. Not necessarily because you're doing anything special, but because this is the breeding season. Snails are laying eggs, a lot of eggs. You will get so many eggs. When she posted this thing on the group, people corrected her first of all on how the depth of the hole she was making, and the next thing they corrected her on was the spacing. You told her that, you are spacing it too far apart. Why? Because the time is coming where your pen would not be large enough to accommodate all the snails. Hence, you would need to expand. So bury them closely. Do the snails need heat to hatch? Not necessarily. At least the temperature should be between 20 to 22 degrees Celsius. That's the perfect temperature for them. Now somebody will ask me, when the snails hatch, what do they eat? Initially they will eat the shells. They start by eating off the shells, and once they've eaten the shells, they will come out and climb and start looking for what to eat. If they have, microorganisms are actually growing, like algae. They usually feed on algae too. Yes, they eat on their shell, they feed on algae, and if there are leftover foods in the pen, that's what they eat as well. So it's very important that if you have an incubation pen, remember the technique that she's using. This is the unique pen method. I talked about 3 other methods. So in this her method, look at that. Okay, so in this her method, she has to separate them. She will come regularly to check the snails over and over again. Now, what other things the new farmers want to learn? How many days do I have to wait before my eggs hatch? Usually 21 to 28 days. That's the sweet spot. But I've had scenarios where snails came out on the 16, but I'm not so sure of that, because the farmers, you get to a point where you've mixed up all your snails. Some of them they won't all come out at the same time. Some will come in the morning, some early. Generally they won't come on the same day. Like she had probably, I don't know, I wasn't counting, maybe 30 eggs today. Tomorrow it might just be 10. Next tomorrow you have 50, and the number keeps going on. And eventually gets to a point that she has a lot of eggs, and that is it. Now, remember when I was talking about the pen system where you have to put sticks on top and support and all that? This is exactly what I'm talking about. Your pen, don't build your pen, don't allow the mulching material to the weight of the mulching material to be directly on the livestock. No, it's not healthy for them. It's not good for them. And guess what? This system gives them more room to climb, more room to move, more room to walk around. They can do so many things. They can climb on the sticks, they can climb on the walls, they can climb up, they can stay on the mulching material. Some of them will decide to stay on the floor, but you've provided more room. Imagine the sticks you're in there. They would have just had the wall of the pen, the top, the front, and the floor. But now you've created another deck for them, another level for them to maximize and utilize the space. So as a beginner farmer, please put this thing in place. I beg you, please put it in place. It is so important. We can literally not underestimate the importance of this. So that's why he had to slow down to show us, okay, is this how it's done? And we confirm that yes, this is how it's done. You need to do it well. Okay, spacing, very important. Then the next thing would be to put back the snails. Then at every, you see those edge, this end particularly is more like it's demarcated with a block or wood or something like that. You put the PVC boards. What are the PVC boards? The PVC are basically what is used to feed the snails. Like the basic PVC board that you're using to roof, you cut it into bits and use it to feed your snails. Now this farmer is a pre-existing farmer. I think he's the only active farmer in Abuja at the moment, and he's doing extremely well for himself. In this video, he was talking about the fact that the rainy season is back and he can no longer allow rain to be falling directly into his pen. Now take note of this. You can allow rain fall directly into your pen, but make sure that you do not floor your pen. Please make sure you do not floor your pen. In this scenario, he floored his pen, and that's why it is giving him serious concern. You might think this pen is dirty. Yes, it is. But this is before the cleaning process. Okay, this is before the cleaning process. I think he has about 2,000 snails here. Leftovers, you can see the snails are eating a lot. Watermelon, pawpaw, name it. And they have good mulching. He uses grasses. So now this is one thing I want to tell you. See, use what is in your locality. Okay, plantain peels might be generally difficult to get in certain regions. Use what is available in your locality. If you don't have plantain peels, you have sack bags. Yes, the Gary sack bag. Soak them in water and use them. So you can see how many pens. How many pens can we count? One. This is the second one. This is the third one, and fourth, and the list keeps going on. And generally most of these snails, this man started with like 300 snails and has 2,000 now, and most of them are growing well. It takes a lot of dedication to do this. So as a beginner farmer, don't be discouraged. It might be challenging, it might be time consuming. Don't be discouraged. I'm here to encourage you. Don't be discouraged. Get into a community. Anyways, if you've not liked this video, go ahead and like it, share it, and make sure that someone who needs it has access to it. Leave a comment. Very importantly, leave a comment. Leave a comment, because it tells the algorithm that this is very helpful to beginner snail farmers. What we do at AgroCycle is that we show you what other people have done. That's one thing. So you feel like, oh, I'm not alone. We make you know that you're not alone. Next, we make it possible for you to access the same results that those people have, because you can literally talk to them. Everybody has a state rep. There's a state representative for you, no matter what. Now this is the section where he has his main snails. Like this, you see the thatch roof. You see the thatch roof. Can you see that? You see how he's using materials that are found in his environment to make the best out of snail farming. See, this thing is not rocket science. It is just clear. Look, you could see everything for yourself. Buildings. Imagine if snail wasn't profitable, how would they have done that? See, please don't allow anybody to discourage you. Snail farming is real. snail farming is profitable. It is quite challenging initially when you start, because you might not know the right things. Where do you buy the correct breed? Anyways, AgroCycle is here to support you. Just call the number on your screen. I'll be more than happy to have you. The only challenge is that you have to go through the community of practice. You have to go through the 5 days intensive training, which gives you access to the community of practicing farmers, after which you can order your snails. Now this is the section for the baby snails. Can you see how small they are? This is the section for the baby snails. Did you see that? I don't know if you saw it. See how small they are. Those, remember those eggs that we were burying? Yes, that it was them that grew to that size. This is to show you that this works, but you need to make it work. Okay, you need to make it work. Now what it's showing us is that the reason why he didn't put a roof over his pen initially was because of the palm fruit or the leaves and the greenery there, the trees that they were covering them, they were shading them from direct sunlight. But now it is raining and he has floored his pen, like the pen is cemented, the floor, okay. They cannot absorb water, so it rains and the place gets flooded, which is really bad for the snails. The baby snails have high chances of drowning, so please don't do that. Now this is my little advice for you. If for some reason you want to have a scenario where you don't want to floor your pen and you don't want to put a roof over your pen, it's okay, but make sure at least you have something like a shade or a tree over it that can break the water droplets and not allow direct sunlight. It is very important. Now this is him showing the pen before he cleaned it. Maybe in our next video I will show you what the pen looks like after it has been cleaned. One thing that we stand for in AgroCycle is a high level of cleanliness. Now you might wonder, oh, we are back to eggs again. Yes, it's the egg season. So many videos on eggs. At AgroCycle we give you literally the best breed that will lay eggs. You can see the farmer documenting. This one was 15th of 4th 2025. That was just barely 2 days ago, and that's when he incubated that section. Then, like I would say, I don't always trust this. It takes a little bit of skill to master this, but if you master it, you're good, because it doesn't take too much space from you. But I would prefer, my best is still the unique pen method. Yeah, that's still my best. The unique pen method, it still wins it for me, but the overall best is the free range system. And for the free range system, is basically putting a net and get a space, put a net around it, then loosen the soil, bury your eggs there, and put stones around the base of the net, such that the snails cannot escape. When they eventually hatch, they'll climb the net. Make it a white net or a blue net or a green net, something that you can literally see through. And there you have it. I don't know, I believe if this has been very helpful, like I said, give me a thumbs up, share, like, subscribe. Why do people not use hand? They use stick. They use a spoon. If I use my hand, will my snails not hatch? I don't think it is so. Your snails will still hatch. Whether you use your hand or you don't use your hand, your snails will still hatch. But we advise it because some people tend to hold these eggs too hard and it makes it difficult to hatch. We'll see you in our next video. Okay, bye for now.